Have you ever looked back and wondered, what if none of it was an accident? What if every compliment, every promise, every perfect moment was carefully designed to earn your trust before slowly taking your confidence away? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear explains why some people seem so calm when they walk away, and why, despite all that planning, there are things they can never escape. They didn't simply enter your life by chance. They learned what mattered to you. They reflected your dreams, your values, and your hopes until it felt like you'd finally found someone who truly understood you. But while you were building a future, they were often preparing an exit. They may have already been shaping opinions behind the scenes, protecting their image, and making sure they could leave with as little accountability as possible. But here's the part they rarely see coming. No matter how carefully someone tries to control the story, there are consequences they can't control. There are truths that surface over time. And there are 7 things that often stay with them long after you've started rebuilding your life. The first is losing control over you. They expected you to stay emotionally trapped, constantly searching for answers or approval. Instead, you begin learning, healing, and seeing the relationship with fresh eyes. Once you stop questioning your worth, the influence they once had begins to disappear. Have you noticed how some people suddenly reappear just when you're finally moving forward? That's often when they realize they're no longer controlling the narrative inside your mind. The second is when people begin seeing the bigger picture. First impressions can be powerful, but over time actions speak louder than stories. As consistency reveals character, others may begin connecting the dots on their own. That shift can be difficult for someone who relied heavily on managing appearances. Third, you stop being available for unhealthy patterns. No more endless arguments. No more chasing closure. No more emotional reactions they once expected. Healthy boundaries become your greatest protection, and silence often says more than any explanation ever could. Have you ever noticed how peace can become your strongest answer? Fourth, the life they imagined after leaving doesn't always match reality. Excitement fades, routines return, and relationships still require honesty, effort, and respect. When fantasy meets reality, comparisons naturally begin. Sometimes people discover too late that they walked away from something genuine. Fifth, they watch you grow without them. This may be the hardest part. You become calmer, stronger, more confident. You rediscover hobbies, friendships, purpose, and joy. The version of you they underestimated becomes the version everyone else starts noticing. Isn't it amazing what happens when your energy finally belongs to you again? Sixth, they may eventually recognize the value they lost. Genuine loyalty, compassion, and emotional depth aren't easy to replace. While every situation is different, people sometimes realize too late that they took consistent love for granted. By then, life has already moved forward. And finally, you become emotionally untouchable. Their words no longer shake your confidence. Their opinions no longer define your identity. Their attempts to pull you back into old patterns simply don't work anymore. That's real freedom, not because they changed, but because you did. Here's the truth that matters most. Your healing was never about proving anyone wrong. It was about rediscovering yourself. As your peace returns, your confidence grows, and your life begins reflecting who you truly are instead of who someone convinced you to be. So let me ask you one question. Which of these 7 changes do you think is the hardest for someone to accept? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your story could encourage someone else who's quietly rebuilding their life. If this message gave you clarity, subscribe to TF, leave a like, and keep watching. Every video is here to help you recognize unhealthy patterns, protect your peace, and continue growing stronger, one step at a time. This content is created for educational and self-reflection purposes. Every relationship is unique, and the behaviors discussed may not apply to every individual or situation. If these topics resonate with you, consider seeking guidance from a qualified professional or trusted support resource as part of your personal healing journey.